Yo, what's up, guys? I'm Grandmaster Shaman, and welcome back to Flower Paradise. And today we have another episode of our quarterback challenge, the impossible quarterback challenge with our boy Day. But first, last week, Sammy Watkins declined our contract offer, and he played really well in that game. And we do have $88 million of cap space. Now, I don't want to keep him for more than 3 seasons, though that would decrease our cap hit. That is, we could keep him for 5 seasons and decrease our cap hit, though. But he would probably want a little bit more money. Let's see what we can do. Because this would keep him at less than $7 million, which would be significantly lower cap hit than what we had before. So let's see if he'll take this offer. Okay, so Sammy Watkins will be with us for the next 5 seasons. We can always trade him or whatnot if he starts to regress dramatically. But he played really well in that game, and I don't think that spending, $6 million a season or so is going to be too detrimental. Next week, we have Leonard Fournette's contract offer, and I feel like we definitely have to make an offer to both of these guys next week because they're both kind of important to the team. Especially Leonard Fournette. This guy, he'll be 27 next year, which is probably towards the end of his towards the end of his career, at least before he starts regressing, and he's only 81, so we're going to have to keep that in mind. But the Indianapolis Colts are the next team on our schedule. If you guys are hyped, make sure you guys hit that like button down below for me because you already know your support's greatly appreciated, as well as subscribing to the channel if you have not done so already. You should go back and not only check this series out, but we do have our 0 overall Madden franchise rebuild going on the channel as the main Madden series, so I'd highly recommend checking that out as well. And we do have all of our simulations for the playoffs. If you guys do like my commentary, you guys can check those out. They were pretty fun games, regardless of the fact that they were, Madden simulations. But without further ado, our game against the Indianapolis Colts. Well, not exactly unexpected. We did lose to the Indianapolis Colts 28-23. We were outgained by about 100 yards, which isn't too bad, and we did not turn the ball over, as Day had 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 250 yards through the air, 3 sacks, which isn't exactly the best, but, we take what we can take at this point. Leonard Fournette had only 30 yards on the ground, so we did not run the football very effectively, though Vaughn had a significantly better day on the ground, though Day had 4 carries for 10 yards, which is kind of fascinating. Receiving-wise, Sammy Watkins, 89 yards. I'm glad we signed him to the deal because he has been very productive in the first 2 games of the season, as he is he's doing very, very well for sure. Defensively, we got Ronnie Harrison with 10 sacks. We led the game in sacks with our top 5. Sack-wise, Yannick Ngakoue, I miss him. He's a great player, but he is now against us. And Jabal Shurd, we did not get any sacks from our team, but we lost 28-23. But at least we're consistently scoring over 20 points, so not exactly a bad way to go about it. We did have an injury update as well, as O'Shaughnessy, our tight end, had a quad tear and is out for 5 weeks. So we're going to miss him at tight end. That's very unfortunate to see him go down due to injury. Upgrades-wise, we do have our punter, Matt Hack. We're going to increase his accuracy. He's going to go up to a nice 76 overall, which is pretty solid. He's very, very young. And we do have an upgrade, finally, for Brent Day, as I believe we're going to increase his improviser stat. He's going to go up to a nice 50 overall, a 2 overall increase. He gets break sack, 2 throw mid, 3 throw short, and a throw power increase as well. So not bad. 50 overall as he gets 2 overall increase. That's pretty solid. Dakota Allen, we're going to increase his run stopping ability, putting him at 66 overall. He's still very young, has some time to develop a little bit. Dontavius Russell, my apologies, is now 65 overall as well. But we do have a very important contract negotiation to do with Leonard Fournette, because I do think that he is good enough to warrant And look at that. We're only losing $4 million of cap space. I'm 100% giving him this offer. Yep. That was a very good deal. That's a team-friendly deal, in my opinion. $4 million, not bad at all. I take that. Like, look, this guy is asking for more money than him. And I don't know if I want to take it, to be honest. He's 81 overall. He has superstar development, so he could potentially break out and have some good stuff happen. Let's see if he'll take a 5-year deal to decrease the cap space. He does take it, so that actually works out in our favor a little bit, because the bonus is the same, you know what I mean? I think he took technically a worse offer. Really, I don't know if I need any of these other players, to be honest. I think I'm probably going to sign, obviously, our quarterback, and then we'll wait until the end of the season to sign anybody else. So we'll wait until about week 7, and we'll get that deal done. And that'll be the last thing we have to do until the offseason in terms of re-signing players. We still should have a pretty decent amount of salary cap. I mean, this is this season's salary cap, I suppose. But that's $38.4 million this season of cap space. We do have a little bit of a cap penalty for the next 2 seasons. I'm not entirely sure why, but it's only $2 million. I didn't release... Oh, it was probably cut days at the 4th week of the season. That's what I assume anyway. The CPU probably cut people and took a cap penalty, so that's kind of unfortunate. But irregardless, we play the 2-0 Green Bay Packers this week. I think we can get our first win with our brand new quarterback. Well, our 3rd loss in a row. 28-17, we lose to the Green Bay Packers. They outgained us by about 50 yards. And we, once again, though, did not turn the ball over. Aaron Rodgers had 212 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Brent Day had 152 yards and a touchdown. He was sacked twice in this game. Leonard Fournette had 72 yards on the ground and a touchdown, which is pretty good. Vaughn had 37 yards, his best game of his career so far. We got Sammy Watkins once again leading the team in receiving at 53 yards. And then defensively, some pretty decent players, all things considered. But Jermaine Crosby, a rookie out of UCLA, got 2 sacks on our team, which is kind of unfortunate for us. As we end up losing our 3rd straight game, every game allowing about 28 or 31 points so far this season. As right now we are sitting at 0-3 and taking on the Colts again this week, as Josh Allen gets a nice little upgrade here. We're going to increase run stopper. He's not going to get an overall increase, but I like to see him kind of fit the scheme a little bit more. We also get Sammy Watkins, his upgrade, and I think I'm going to increase deep threat once again. He is going to be up to 82 overall. Nice little 1 in each of those categories, which is pretty solid. And then Cam Robinson is up to a 74 overall offensive lineman. Not too shabby, but we'd like to see a little bit more production out of Cam Robinson. As I believe the only player that we have left is going to be our quarterback, which is week 7. I just need to remember that it was week 7. And now we play the Indianapolis Colts once again. Well, unfortunately, another loss for the Jacksonville Jaguars, 24-20 against the Indianapolis Colts. Brent Day, 265 yards passing, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions in this game. Tyree Jackson had a touchdown for the Colts, which is interesting. The undrafted rookie that you can get that's 60 overall originally. Jacoby Brissett had 219 yards, a touchdown. We were sacked 6 times in this game, which is really rough. Leonard Fournette had only 26 yards on the ground. Not a very good day, but Marquise Lee, 112 yards receiving on 7 catches. Watkins had 64 yards on 4 catches. Defensively, Myles Jack and Josh Allen had pretty good days overall. Allen and Hargrave both had half a sack, and then a couple of interceptions for the Colts. Loses us the game 24-20. As we drop to 0-4 on the season, we will not be relocating in at this time. If we have any upgrades, Myles Jack with a nice little upgrade. We're going to increase, obviously, pass coverage from him. Nice little solid. He's nice little solid player right there. Bradley Hargrave, or an increased power rushing. He's not going to get an overall increase, unfortunately, but not too bad for the rookie, as he's still 77 overall. And Stimson, our other rookie, an increased speed rusher here. He's not going to gain an overall again, but he's going to gain +3 to finesse moves. And I believe, let's see, what is his finesse moves? 81 overall. So not too bad from that standpoint, as I don't know why I went in here. Well, another loss, this time in overtime, 34-28, as we lose to the Minnesota Vikings in a very close game. Brent Day had 295 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Kirk Cousins, 203 yards, a touchdown, was sacked twice. Dalvin Cook ran all over our defense. Leonard Fournette had an okay day with 64 yards on the ground. Marquise Lee racked up 162 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns, though. What a day for him. He had, 136 yards after catch, 34-yard rack average. Wow, absolutely incredible. Josh Oliver, our tight end, had 50 yards receiving, taking over as the starting role at tight end. Sack-wise, Everson Griffin and Harrison Smith had sacks on our team, as well as Danielle Hunter, but R.B. Jones, Bradley Hargrave both had sacks, which is pretty solid there, and of course our 1 interception. So we are now 0-5. Not exactly the best start to the season, as Chris Connolly gets a nice little 77 overall, nice little short increase here as he gets a couple of overall boosts. Josh Oliver, our tight end, we're going to increase his possession catching, putting him up to 74 overall, which is pretty nice. +4 to catching, which is really good. And then our 36 overall tight end is now 37 overall. I have no idea why he is here, but he is. And now our 0-5 Jaguars have the 3-2 Chicago Bears this week. Well, the Jacksonville Jaguars have won their first game of the season, 24-3, knocking down the Chicago Bears. We had 356 yards of offense, and the Bears turned the ball over twice. Brent Day had 219 yards, 2 touchdowns, and was sacked once. Meanwhile, Trubisky, 2 interceptions on 166 yards with a 43 quarterback rating. Leonard Fournette had 90 yards on the ground and a touchdown, which is pretty solid day from him, as Jaden Vaughn had 24 yards as well, pretty decent. Marquise Lee has been surprisingly good. 77 overall, and he has been playing really well. 79 more yards on the receiving end from him. Chark and Oliver both had touchdown catches. On the flip side, 1 sack, but how about Miles Jack and Ronnie Harrison both having interceptions in this game for the defense? And that will put us at 1-5 as we rematch against the Houston Texans, who we lost to in last episode's game. They sit at 4-2. The Doctors have cleared O'Shaughnessy, but I feel no need to start him in the game, as the backup is the same overall, and that would give us a nice little advantage. But guess what, guys? It's week 7. It's here. The time has come. Brent Day. Nice, solid 7-year contract, and he has accepted it. So we have Brent Day for the next 7 seasons until he's 29 years old. The 50 overall rookie quarterback will stay with our team for the foreseeable future. The rookie Jaden Vaughn finally gets his first nice little upgrade, and we're going to increase his elusiveness as he moves up to 77 overall. Gets awareness, ball carrier vision, elusiveness, and spin move. Here's a, he's going to be probably a backup running back for his entire career, but definitely not playing terrible by any stretch of the imagination, as the 1-5 Jaguars will now take on the 4-2 Houston Texans. Well, another overtime loss for the Jacksonville Jaguars. We outgained them, but our 2 turnovers, it's very similar to how we lost the last game, I think. I think the 2 turnovers really did it, and then Houston probably won the coin toss and went down and scored a touchdown. Brent Day, though, had 395 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, and only 2 interceptions. He was sacked 3 times, but Watson had a pick and was sacked 4 times for 293 yards. Brent Day had almost 400 yards passing in this game. That is absolutely incredible. Leonard Fournette had 55 yards on the ground, which isn't too bad. Marquise Lee, once again, dominating, 164 yards and 2 touchdowns. He has been absolutely stellar this season. The 7th-year guy out of USC. I mean, I never would have expected a USC player to be at all decent. D.D. Westbrook, our superstar development wide receiver, had 1 catch, but it went all the way 75 yards downfield for a touchdown. Watkins even had 60 yards. DJ Chark had 55. Not a bad day at all from that standpoint. Defensively, Telvin Smith had 12 tackles. How about Ziggy Ansah with 3 sacks on our team? But Bradley Hargrave with 2 sacks, Taven Bryan with a sack, and Jake Ryan with a sack. And then Telvin Smith had our interception. Clinton Dix had both interceptions for the Houston Texans. So that is where our team currently stands at 1-6. Though, again, not too bad all things considered based on how our team is played. We have a couple of nice little upgrades. We have Jawan Taylor getting us up to a 75 overall at tackle. He's still 22, so he's got plenty of time to continue to develop from that position. Leon Jacobs is up to 72 overall at outside linebacker. A pretty solid backup player, to say the least. James Onwualu out of Notre Dame up to a 67 overall at outside linebacker. Of course, he's 25. Still got some time. Pass coverage here for Joe Giles-Harris is up to 66. Then we have Joshua Dobbs, our backup quarterback. We're going to increase improviser. He gets 2 overall points to a nice little 65 overall. And then, of course, Brent Day, our starting QB. Increase improviser, and he gets another 2 overall increase. Oh my goodness, he is now up to 52 overall. Wow, that is the 2nd time in a row he's gotten 2 overall points off of the upgrade. His improviser still his worst trait, which is kind of funny. But regardless, very solid. Where does captain badge go? I want to see his captain badge. There it is. I don't know why it glitched out and didn't show his captain badge on his jersey. I was like, what? Come on, man. But look at his stats this season. I'm just throwing this out here. He has got 1,800 yards so far, and 14 touchdowns, 6 picks is still not the best, but 1,800 yards through the air in 7 games. Not bad for a rookie, I'm just saying. But we have the Denver Broncos up next. We'll have to see as we go into our last game before the bye, the halfway point in the season. What do we have? Well, another victory for the Jacksonville Jaguars. 29-26, we beat the Denver Broncos after a 15-point fourth quarter, puts them away. And a pretty solid game, it looks like. We didn't turn the ball over. We had 294 yards and 3 touchdowns, though Drew Lock had 310 yards and 2 touchdowns in this game. It looks like, I don't know if Drew Lock is just starting or probably. I assume Joe Flacco got negated, if you will. Leonard Fournette had 2 yards away from an 100-yard game, which is pretty solid from him. And Vaughn had 22 yards, which isn't too bad. Look at that. We held the Broncos to having a player with no more than 25 yards on the ground, which is really, really solid. O'Shaughnessy came back with a vengeance. His first game back after injury, he had led the team with 79 yards receiving. Watkins had 63. Not exactly the best game for Marquise Lee. He didn't get targeted at all in this game. After some really amazing games, he was completely left out of the picture at the receiving end. Defensively, it looks like that we had Taven Bryan, Stimson, and Hargrave, both of our rookies, along with Taven Bryan, three of our youngest players getting sacks in this game. No interceptions, of course, from either team, and that puts us at a 2-6 record, which isn't exactly the best, but going into the bye, it could have been a lot worse. As Bradley Hargrave, our defensive tackle, ends up getting another overall attribute point, and we'll put it into power rushing, as he gets a nice little increase there. And his hidden development, we still got almost 200 snaps to see what Hargrave's overall will be, or his dev will be, but the 22-year-old rookie has been playing pretty well so far this season in his rookie year, especially as the number 2 defensive tackle. We do have to keep that in mind. Well, what a day for the Jacksonville Jaguars. 39-21, we beat the Detroit Lions in incredible fashion. I'm shocked. Day had 239 yards and a touchdown. He was sacked 4 times, but Stafford, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, and 3 sacks and 243 yards through the air. Not a very good day for Stafford at all. Leonard Fournette had 3 touchdown runs and 72 yards on the ground. Vaughn had 28. Both of those guys beating out the entire rest of the Detroit team running the football. DJ Chark Jr. had 120 yards receiving and a touchdown. D.D. Westbrook, 89 yards through the air. Shaughnessy had 20. Once again, though, haven't seen much production out of Marquise Lee. I'm not entirely sure why, but he had such a blazing start to the season. This is the second week in a row he has gotten no touches. Miles Jack had 13 tackles, and we've got Ronnie Harrison, Smoot, and R.B. Jones all with sacks in this game, as well as Ronnie Harrison and Miles Jack with interceptions. Ronnie Harrison had a sack and 2 interception game. That's pretty impressive, to say the least. But regardless, we have now won 3 games this season as we beat the Detroit Lions in tremendous fashion. And I believe, indeed he is. Ronnie Harrison did win Defensive Player of the Week with 2 interceptions, a sack, and 5 tackles. Pretty solid lineup right there. We do have a breakout player opportunity for Bryan. Taven Bryan has an opportunity to become a superstar. That would be a very, very... speaking of which, he got an overall point increase. He's already a star development player. He was the guy that was here already on the team. He's now in his 3rd season, and he could be a superstar if he has a big game. Ronnie Harrison, obviously player of the week, getting a nice little upgrade. He's up to 78 overall at strong safety. He's still got plenty of time left to become a complete BA. Quincy Williams gets up to 67 overall as we increase his pass coverage ability. And we do have a new injury online, and that is going to be Daryl Worley, our 3rd corner, out for 4 weeks with a quad tear. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Taven Bryan did it. He is now a superstar development player on our defensive tackle position. He gained 8,000 experience. And I will say, we also won the game. So 31-16, we were able to beat the Tennessee Titans in this game. We had a pretty good offensive performance, 284 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns. He was sacked 4 times, unfortunately. Case Keenum did get in the game, and so did Brad Kaya for a little while, as he was sacked 2 times. So we had 6 sacks defensively. On top of that, Jaden Vaughn took the bulk of the carries in this game, surprisingly. Maybe Leonard Fournette got a little bit tired or injured in this game. So Vaughn ended up having his best game of the season with 61 yards on 16 touches. And Leonard Fournette still had a decent game, 44 yards and a touchdown in this one. Vaughn also led the team in receiving, 99 yards on 3 catches and a touchdown, and that is pretty impressive. He had a 70-yard touchdown grab as well in this game, so pretty solid. Defensively, sack-wise, Josh Allen and Hargrave had 2.5 and 2 sacks respectively. Taven Bryan had a tackle for loss and a sack in this game, and he played exceptionally well in this one. And Trey Herndon, our corner, had an interception, putting us at a nice 4-win season so far, 4-6. A terrific second half of the season so far. However, we did lose. Oh, that is why Leonard Fournette broke his collarbone. He's going to be out for 7 weeks, and I believe that is going to do it for his season, as we have to put him on the injured reserve. And because of that, we are going to have to sign ourselves a free agent running back to take over that third position at the running back slot. We don't exactly have many good options at this position, but we will do our best with, it looks like probably Wendell Smallwood, a running back out of West Virginia. We'll sign him for the rest of the season to take over as that third-string running back. So that way, it looks like our rookie is going to get the bulk of the carries, and this is exactly why I drafted him. And look at the Buffalo Bills. After being the worst team in football last season, they're up to an 8-2 record, which is pretty impressive. How about Taven Bryan getting that 8,000 experience, and he is going to go up to 79 overall as we increase his power rushing, and then he's going to go up to 80 overall. A very solid player in his third season. He's still got plenty of time to continue to develop. Bradley Hargrave, we're going to increase his speed rushing ability. He's up to 79 overall at defensive tackle himself. And Stimson, do we know his development trait yet? I think Stimson played more downs than the number 2 defensive tackle, and he is a star development player out of UCF, so not bad. I was hoping that we could find like a superstar development player, but you know, we can't all have nice things, as Jalen Mills gets up to 74 overall. Look at this dude's hair. Then we also have Smoot, who is up to 72 overall at defensive end. He's doing pretty well for himself there. Michael Walker is up to 66 at wide receiver. Not too shabby, not too shabby. Our center, Tyler Gothier, is up to 57. And then our quarterback, Brent Day, going to increase his improviser ability. This time he only gains 1 overall, but he is now up to 53. So he has gained 5 overall points so far this season. And by the way, if you guys are curious, this is going to be fascinating, because if you look at, not our team schedule, if you look at the stat line, look over at the left, 4th in the league in passing yards, 2,700, 9th in the league in passing touchdowns. He has been absolutely incredible this season. We're 7th in points scored. Like, look at our team. We are 4th in offense. 4th in offense, even with this guy at quarterback. We have had one heck of a season. I know it's partially due to just pure luck, but wow, what a season for us as a football team. We have done so much to get here, and it's only been 1 season, so we could potentially make something happen. Obviously, we're still 4-6, and we still have a big game against the Buffalo Bills to look up to, but it's not completely out of our reach. We still are down 3 games to the Houston Texans, but hey, if we can continue this winning streak, good things could happen. Well, unfortunately, we don't get the win. The Buffalo Bills are just too much for our team, as we end up falling to them 31-28. Day had 287 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns and an interception, while Josh Allen had a touchdown, no picks, but was sacked twice. Vaughn ended up having a pretty moderately okay day, as Armstead also got a couple of touches in this game. Our other running back didn't get anything, really. Receiving-wise, D.D. Westbrook, 115 yards through the air on 6 catches. Not too bad at all. Sammy Watkins had 82 yards as well. And D.J. Chark had 61 and a touchdown. So not too bad from that kind of a standpoint. If we look at our sack totals, a bunch of half sacks for our team. And then interception-wise, Aaron Lynch was the one that picked off Brent Day. So we do fall for the 7th time to 4-7 this season, as we are currently in week 13. Cam Robinson, our tackle, is once again getting an upgrade. He is up to 75 overall at left tackle, which isn't too bad considering he's in his 4th season. Gerald Wilson increases zone coverage. He is going to go up to 75 overall, which is not too bad at all. And A.J. Kane at right guard is up to 73 at that position, which is pretty solid. So right now we are currently at 4-7, and we're taking on the 7-4 Cincinnati Bengals. Interesting to see them play well, but look at our schedule up there. We have to play the entire AFC North in a row. It's mildly terrifying. Well, a victory for the Jacksonville Jaguars as we go to Cincinnati and knock off the Bengals after they had such a good start to the season. We are able to get the win. The Bengals turned the ball over twice as Mitch Copeland, the rookie out of LSU, had 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Meanwhile, Brent Day, no picks, 248 yards, was sacked twice, but 137.5 quarterback rating from him. Pretty solid there. Vaughn had 55 yards on the ground. Armstead got 8 touches for 30 yards as well. Receiving-wise, D.D. Westbrook, 109 yards through the air in this one. It's very interesting that nothing has changed on the depth chart, but Marquise Lee has not touched the ball in like 5 weeks after having multiple games with over 100 yards. Very weird, but I can't justify necessarily putting him over some of these other guys that are also producing. He's number 3 on the depth, or number 4 on the depth chart. He's the number 4 receiver, but he hasn't touched the ball in several weeks, which is really surprising. Defensively, though, pretty decent game. Hargrave gets a sack. That's the only one. And then we do have Miles Jack and Gerard Wilson with interceptions on our team. So we did get our 5th win of the season. We're now 5-7. Once again, 3 games back of the Houston Texans. I don't think we'll be making it to the playoffs, but who knows? Maybe we have to win the next 4 games if we want to do it, though. I don't see us making it at 8-8 or lower. Miles Jack is now up to an 82 overall at middle linebacker. Nice and solid there. Trey Herndon is up to a 76 overall at corner. Very solid. Good to see solid corners. Then we have Logan Cook, a punter. He's up to 72 overall at the as a punter. I believe he's my backup punter, if I remember correctly, because we signed a punter over the offseason, and we have 2, I believe. And we don't need to, but he's just kind of on the team to be on the team. And Andrew Wingard is up to 66 overall, and that is going to be all of our upgrades as we have the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are sitting at 3-9 on our schedule. A very winnable game for our team. Well, a nice little win here. It was close. It was a lot closer than I would have liked it to be. But 23-20, the Jaguars do beat the Pittsburgh Steelers as we get another back-to-back win here. 288 yards for Brent Day. He did throw an interception, unfortunately. But Ben Roethlisberger, 2 touchdowns, 263 yards through the air as well. Vaughn ended up having a pretty average day, 52 yards on the ground and a touchdown. And D.D. Westbrook has been incredible these last few weeks, 145 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns in this game. Sammy Watkins had 82 yards through the air as well. Defensively, DJ Hayden had 12 tackles in this one. Stimson ended up getting a nice little sack, and then Nelson had the pick on our quarterback here. So that's going to pick us up another win. We are now 6-7. We still sit 3 games back of Houston, though, so I don't really expect us to be able to win the division or anything crazy like that. Bradley Hargrave is up an overall point. He's going to be up to 80 overall, and that is going to be very solid for his rookie campaign. We were very close to figuring out what his development is. And then Jaden Vaughn gets a nice little upgrade here, our running back I don't really want to increase his power back. He's just not a power back. He's not going to be a power back. It's just not going to happen. And the rookie out of Nebraska is up to 78 overall. And now we have to play a very tough Baltimore Ravens football team. We're very close in record. Oh, Worley was our starting corner. I didn't even realize he was our starting corner. Well, I'm glad to have him back. I'm actually going to move Hayden down for Mosley, and then Mills is going to be our... Well, Mills will still be the 5th because we moved him over to free safety. And he's been playing all right, but I haven't really seen much production from Wilson. So we'll see whether or not we even keep Wilson going into the future. But a big game against the Baltimore Ravens this week. We beat the Baltimore Ravens 35-21. We had 396 yards of offense, looking very impressive from what it looks like at the moment. No turnovers from our team. 253 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions from Brent Day as he continues to have one hell of a rookie season. It's actually kind of insane how good he's been this year. Lamar Jackson, 292 yards, a touchdown and an interception. He was sacked once. Jaden Vaughn, 73 yards on the ground, which isn't too bad at all, as Armstead had 22. Receiving the football, Vaughn also led the team in receiving, 85 yards. Watkins had 70. D.D. Westbrook only had 39, but he did have a touchdown. Defensively, a bunch of people had 9 tackles, but Smith ended up with our sack. And the interception went to Jake Ryan. Interesting. He is up for a potential contract renewal. He hasn't exactly been all that spectacular this season, but a nice interception there on Lamar Jackson makes it nice. But we are now 7-7, which is second in on the team. We cannot win our division, but let's check out these league standings for an opportunity at the playoffs in our rookie debut of our 48 overall quarterback that is now up to, what, 53? 53 overall quarterback, and we have an opportunity to make the playoffs potentially. Yeah, look at that. We are actually very close. We have the tiebreaker on the Ravens, but the Colts have the tiebreaker on us because they beat us, I believe, both times. And after the start to the season we have an opportunity to potentially make the 6th seed. Now, it's going to be hard because the Patriots and Texans have clinched the division, right? The Browns are currently in 1st, but the Bengals are in 2nd, which means we need the Bengals to lose football games. And so we don't necessarily need the Ravens, but we need the Colts to lose football games. They lost the game last week. We've won 3 games in a row. We could potentially make the playoffs in our rookie's first year. I did not expect that. I thought this was going to be an insanely hard challenge. And Brent Day gets another upgrade. He is up to 55 overall. What a crazy season. Break sack up 2, throw accuracy mid up 2, throw accuracy short up 2, and throw on the run is up 1. So he's up to 55 overall as a player. And you want to know why he's up to 55 overall? It's because he has been absolutely incredible this season. 4th in the league in passing with 2 games left. He has 3,776 yards and 32 touchdowns and only 8 interceptions. 74% completion percentage, and he has been absolutely incredible this season. It's hard to believe we're 2nd in offensive yards. That's crazy. I mean, I'm not doing anything. These games are all simulated. I don't know why the bye week always says the home team wins. But regardless, all of these games are simulated. But look at this start. We lost 5 games in a row. Then we beat the Bears. And then we've lost 2 games since. We lost to the Texans and we lost to the Bills. both in very close games. The Texans in overtime and the Bills by just 3 points. And now we have the Browns and the Titans to finish off the season with an opportunity at the playoffs hanging in the balance if we can win both games. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Jacksonville Jaguars scored a safety in the second quarter. We also won the game. 17-14, we beat the Browns, but we didn't exactly play super well in this one, which is kind of unfortunate. 132 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was sacked 7 times. Ooh, Baker Mayfield had no touchdowns, no interceptions, sacked 3 times, 237 yards. Vaughn had 67 yards on the ground, which isn't terrible. Baker Mayfield led their team in rushing, which is kind of crazy. I wonder, it looks like Nick Chubb probably got injured. That's my assumption. Receiving, Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham, Ratley, O'Shaughnessy had 37 yards as our leading receiver. Not super great there. Miles Jack had 12 tackles. A bunch of Cleveland guys. Miles Jack, Barron, Josh Allen all had some decent plays and no interceptions in this game. But that does give us the W. And if we look at the standings, we have 1 game left against the Tennessee Titans. If we look at the AFC standings, we are right now sitting in 6th. So the Patriots, the Texans, and the Bills are in, which means the Bills are guaranteed the number 5 seed. The Browns can win their division this week. Do they play the Bengals? If they play the Bengals, then we just need to win, I think, right? Or did we lose to the Bengals? No, we beat the Bengals. We beat the entire division. We've won 4 straight games. So that means that we have the tiebreaker against both of these teams, which means, regardless of the outcome, they have to play each other, though. Let's see our league schedule. We might actually have to watch this Titans game, because if we win, we're in the playoffs. Let's see. Oh no, they play the Jets, and then the Bengals play the Bills. So that's actually a very interesting game. I wish we could watch those games instead. I think we could beat the Titans. The Titans are 7-8. I could be wrong, though. We do have Josh Allen getting a nice little upgrade. He's up to 84 overall at left end, which is really solid. He's been playing extremely well this season. Jawan Taylor is up to 76 overall at tackle. He has been getting those upgrades slowly, playing well. Richardson Jr. up to a 68 overall at guard, which is pretty nice. And then Gothire is up to 58 overall at center. Can you imagine if we won this thing in the first season with a 50 overall quarterback? Man, we could make the playoffs potentially. We need to win, and we need one of those 2 teams to lose. If we win and one of those teams lose, we are the 6th seed. Should we watch this game? Or should we skip it? You know what? We're going to skip it. We're going to simulate this game and see what happens. Ladies and gentlemen, 29-22, the Jacksonville Jaguars have won the game. The first step is complete. Brent Day had an incredible day at 297 yards through the air and a touchdown. He was sacked on 3 separate occasions, while Case Keenum had 204 yards and 2 touchdowns. Vaughn had 78 yards on the ground, and DJ Chark Jr. had 100 yards receiving and a touchdown in this game. Defensively, Logan Ryan had 10 tackles. Miles Jack had 9. But, ladies and gentlemen, we have done it. We have made the playoffs at the wild card spot. The Browns were able to get the win. Meanwhile, the Bengals were not able to hold off that very tough Buffalo Bills team, and the Bills will face the Chargers in the wild card round. The Cowboys and the Panthers and the Bears and the Seahawks will also go head-to-head in the wild card round of the playoffs, which means next episode we will take on the Cleveland Browns, and we could potentially make this the fastest challenge by finishing it in just one season, as Brent Day has earned 5 upgrade wait. The end of the season, because I'm sure he's going to win Rookie of the Year. There's no way in heck he's not going to win Rookie of the Year, especially when he's 8th in the MVP running. Look at... Oh my god, really? He's 3rd? What? No way! How did he get 5 upgrade? Oh no, he's 4. He's not even 3rd. He's not even on the list. That's the running back. He's not even on the Rookie of the Year list. And he's 4th in the NFL in passing yards at 4,200 and 5th in passing touchdowns. We have the number 7 ranked defense. Well, regardless, Brent Day got 5 upgrade points, which is kind of insane. He moves up to 56 overall with that upgrade. This one puts him up to 58, another 2 overall increase. This season was absolutely incredible. Another 2 overall increase. He's 60 overall, just like that. Then 61. Is he going to go up to 63 here with another improviser? No, he doesn't gain an overall point this time. 61 overall quarterback. Wow. That's incredible. Taven Bryan has moved up to 81 overall at defensive tackle. And now 82 overall at defensive tackle. Of course, he did get that dev increase up to superstar, which is kind of insane. Norwell, going to increase his power blocking. He is a left guard. He's 85 overall at left guard now, which is pretty awesome. DJ Chark Jr. is now 84 overall as we increase his deep threat ability. Daryl Worley, our corner, we're going to increase his zone coverage. He's going to go up to 78 overall, which is really solid. And then we have a bunch of guys that I'm not entirely too... I don't need to be too specific on. But ladies and gentlemen, we have taken a quarterback that is 48 overall, and we have made him into a 61 overall player. Wow, I cannot believe how fast he was able to increase his overall. I know he's like 5th in the league in passing touchdowns and 4th in passing yards. 4,200 yards in his rookie season for what was originally a 48 overall player is kind of insane. And in the next episode, we look to finish the challenge in just one season. I know it's kind of up to pure luck, but the second half of we started the season 0-5, by the way. We've went 9-2 since starting the season 0-5. That is absolutely insane. I mean, we built this team around him. The team's 82 overall. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. I hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure you guys hit that like button down below for me, because you already know your sport's greatly appreciated, as well as subscribing to the channel. And let me know in the comment section your thoughts on the series. It's been pretty crazy, to say the least, as we have gotten extremely lucky with how things have gone, and now our 61 overall quarterback has an opportunity in a rematch against the Cleveland Browns to potentially make it to the Super Bowl in his first season. We'll see how it goes in the next episode.